Hello, I'm Valdas Maximavicius, a data analytics architect, and I specialize in building data solutions in Azure. In this video, I would like to share with you a few resources that I find useful, especially if you are interested in learning Azure Data Platform on your own. Last week, I participated at Big Data Conference in Vilnius. It was a pleasure to meet many of you, have a chat about different use cases, and hear how different companies are using different cloud providers to run their workloads. In addition, I had two sessions. I had one talk about data science in Azure. I had a 1 day's workshop about building Azure Data Platform Foundation. In my talk, I gave an overview about different machine learning services that you can find in Azure. As you see in the picture, there are many different services with the machine learning keyword in itself. But in what cases we should use Azure Machine Learning Studio, in what cases we should use just Azure Machine Learning? Or what's Microsoft Machine Learning Server and how is it different than Azure Machine Learning? And as you see, naming is really difficult. If you are interested in reading more about this, I have a blog post where I go through all these services and list advantages and disadvantages. In my another session at Big Data Conference, I facilitated 1 day's workshop about building Azure Data Platform. Together with participants, we used Azure Data Factory, Data Lake, Azure Databricks, Power BI, Stream Analytics, and so on to build Azure Data Platform Foundation. Now, if you are interested in running similar labs, I have good news. On GitHub, you can find 5 labs that you can execute in your own subscription at your own pace. So, Fabio Braga, a senior cloud solutions architect at Microsoft, created this great repo. As you can see, there are deployment scripts inside, labs, and some additional slides if you'd like to take a look. Here is an architecture that you will be creating together with Fabio. And there are 5 labs. After those 5 labs, you will get this great foundation. And the thing that I wanted to show you in addition was just quick glance at the labs. So lab 0, you deploy all the required resources into your subscription. And eventually you get all the required services here, as you see inside. Logic apps, virtual networks, databases, data factory, everything is here. You don't have to create that manually. Then in lab 1, you use Azure Data Factory to load data into Azure Synapse Analytics, and you use Power BI to visualize that. In lab 2, you use Azure Data Factory data flows to transform data. Lab 3, you use Azure Databricks to transform data and test how you can join data from different storages. Some part of data is coming from blob storage, parts of data is coming from Synapse Analytics, and you do in-memory computation. And lab 4, I think this is the most interesting one because you are using Cosmos DB, cognitive services, Azure Databricks, and Data Factory to orchestrate everything. And then the final lab, lab 5, is everything about real-time, where you use Event Hubs and Stream Analytics, and you visualize that in Power BI. Kudos to Fabio, as he not only created the repo, but he keeps updating it. So for instance, 2 weeks ago, he updated and he added Azure Synapse Analytics. In addition, one thing to mention, if you have Azure free subscription, unfortunately, you will not be able to execute all the labs because Azure Databricks clusters will not start as properly. So in that case, only MSDN or pay-as-you-go subscription is needed. There is one topic I wanted to cover in more detail. What is Azure Data Platform? Is there a one specific download package that you could use? Not exactly. A few years ago, that was called Big Data Architecture. Then it was renamed to Cortana Analytics, then Data Lake, Modern Data Warehouse, till eventually I hear this Azure Data Platform, or in some cases, that's only Cloud Analytics. So what is it? Should we pay attention to that? Not really, because in my view, that's only a marketing term that Microsoft uses. But eventually, that's a collection of different components that you can use for different workloads. And if we take a look at Azure and you start searching for Azure Data Platform, guess what? Okay, there is no Azure Data Platform, but there are other services that different partners are providing, but there is no Azure Data Platform. What does it mean? Basically, it means that there is no Azure Data Platform package or installation. Instead, it's just a collection of multiple tools. So if you need storage, then you look for storage and you select Azure Storage account, then you might enable Azure Data Lake Gen 2, etc. If you need Databricks, you choose Databricks. And look at those services as it be some kind of Lego, because eventually those Legos are just connecting. And if you need streaming, you add Stream Analytics, Event Hubs, etc. The whole issue comes that not all services are well integrated or have enterprise readiness yet. Some of you will use Azure Machine Learning with some type of storage. Guess what? It falls under Azure Data Platform. Some of you will run streaming applications and do real-time analytics. Yes, that's still Azure Data Platform. And if someone uses Azure Data Factory to load data into Azure Synapse Analytics and build reports on top of that, that's right, that's still Azure Data Platform. There is one component that I got many questions, and that was Azure Synapse Analytics. What it is and how it changes SQL Data Warehouse. So this is the question that I was asking myself for quite a long time. Is it replacing SQL Data Warehouse or is it adding some additional functionality? But now I have one great link that I think you will enjoy a lot. So James Serra created this amazing presentation where he goes through a bit salesy material at the beginning, but then he goes deep and he explains how Azure Synapse Analytics replaces SQL Data Warehouse and adds additional functionality. As you can see, we have 229 slides. It's pretty impressive PowerPoint deck. I will not dive into the details, but there is one slide at the end that I found really interesting that I would like to show you. Specifically about what services it will replace. SQL Data Warehouse. Sure, that was communicated at the very beginning that Azure Synapse Analytics will take it over. Then Data Factory as well. Some pipelines will be migrated to Synapse Analytics. Power BI, there is no Gen 2, there is no migration needed as well. Databricks. As you see, it's to be decided. But since Synapse Analytics will include Spark computation, in that case, well, Azure Databricks might not be needed. Check out James' other presentations because he has great content, and those presentations, to be honest, sometimes are better than the official Azure documentation. So check this out. So as you can see, Azure Synapse Analytics will replace not only SQL Data Warehouse, but Data Factory, Databricks, and who knows what else. And the last point that I wanted to discuss with you is one book that I recently finished, and I think it's amazing. It's called Cloud Analytics with Microsoft Azure, and it was released just recently. Even Azure Synapse Analytics is described in this book, and it was written by 3 Microsoft MVPs. And if we just take a look at table of contents, there is a very good introduction to Azure Analytics, as I mentioned to you previously about Azure Data Platform and those different components, different Legos. So we will get a nice introduction where they mention about different features, different benefits of each of those services. And the chapter that I enjoyed most was chapter number 5, business use cases. And the idea here that different companies having different issues, what are different strategies and architectures that you can use, what are different services that you can join together to solve business use cases. So I enjoyed this book a lot, and you can register in one page provided by Microsoft, register and you will get your copy for free. So Christmas is coming, and I think this will be a good book for you to prepare for 2020. Then we are about to finish. I will put all the links that I was showing to you today in the description below. And this is it. Thank you for watching. Bye.